Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
digital zoom, you have to analog every from up here. It's already on autofocus, and to change ISO, you just press the button, and the ISO is right on the button. So most likely, I may just turn on all the lights. So you most likely does not need any sort of lighting. Say you decide to turn on the light, not getting enough lighting. So this is for just the battery. So instead of putting the battery, they overheat it.
Go also the father of our little Balaram. Everyone knows Gopalari Prabhu, however, as is the norm, I'm going to give a little introduction. So Gopalari Prabhu holds the Joe Dunham Distinguished Professorship in Ethics at Aurora University. He's the author of Maya in the Harvard Quran, Human Suffering and Divine Play, published by Oxford University Press. And he serves as the editor for the Journal of Hindu-Christian Studies. He's been serving as the member of ISKCON's Shastric Advisory Council, and he completed his DPhil in Religious Studies from the University of Oxford, England. Gopalari Prabhu's next generation ISKCON devotee, and very fortunately for us, lives right here in Naperville at this time. So let's welcome Gopalari Prabhu with a loud and
Lord Balaram ki, Krishna Balaram ki. So it's so wonderful to be here to see Radha Shyam's in the temple on this wonderful occasion of Balaram Purnima. And we'll start with Jai Radha Mata, short bhajan. Jai Radha Ah Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we'll be talking about Lord Balaram. And anyone want to suggest who is Lord Balaram? Krishna's bigger brother, right? The older brother. So today's the older brother's day. It's the Janmashtami coming up soon as the younger brother's day. It's the older brother's day, Krishna's elder brother, Lord Balaram. And Lord Balaram is actually very, he's not, we don't discuss, we don't talk about him so much. But Lord Balaram is present everywhere. Lord Balaram is actually our central object of worship. He's our central person of worship. Just like if you go to McDowell, people say Radhe Radhe. Right? They worship Radharani first before Krishna. In the same way, we worship Lord Balaram even before we worship Krishna. So, we'll read this verse from the Chaitanya Charitamrita to begin with. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Lila 168. Today there's a lot of lights and cameras here. Believe me, it's not a class that's bringing this. We have some famous celebrities coming today to take the grace of Lord Balaram. Dui rupe haya bhagavanera prakasha. Dui rupe haya bhagavanera prakasha. Ekita prakasha haya arita vilasa. Ekita prakasha haya arita vilasa. Dui rupe haya bhagavanera prakasha. Ekita prakasha haya arita vilasa. Translation purport by His Majesty C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The personality of Godhead exhibits himself in two kinds of forms, Prakasha and Vilasa. Purport. The Supreme Lord expands his personal forms in two primary categories. The Prakasha forms are manifested by Lord Krishna for his pastimes, and their features are exactly like his. When Lord Krishna married 16,000 queens in Dwarka, he did so in 16,000 Prakasha expansions. Similarly, during the Rasa dance, he expands himself in identical Prakasha forms to dance beside each and every gopi simultaneously. When the Lord manifests his Vilasa expansions, however, they are all somewhat different in their bodily features. Lord Balaram is the first Vilasa expansion of Lord Krishna, and the 400 Narayan forms of Vaikuntha expand from Balaram. There is no difference between the bodily forms of Sri Krishna and Balaram, except that their bodily colors are different. Similarly, Sri Narayana in Vaikuntha has 4 hands, whereas Krishna has only 2. The expansions of the Lord who manifest such bodily differences are known as Vilasa Vigrahas. Jnana Janmashtami Chakshuru Veditam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru. So, here Prabhupada is describing how there's 2 types of forms that the Lord has. One is the Prakasha forms. And these are forms the Lord expands in identical forms. So, when he dances with the gopis in the rasa dance, right? Then he's dancing with each gopi individually. He's not dancing alone with millions of gopis, but he expands himself in millions of forms. So those are forms of Krishna that are identical. Krishna himself, with holding a flute and just expanding himself in so many different forms. And then he says we have the Vilasa expansions. And the Vilasa expansions are Krishna, but in different forms. Right? So it's the same Krishna, but Krishna coming in different forms. And there's so many, right? Millions of incarnations of the Lord. But the primary ones that we discuss and speak about is Lord Ramachandra, right? Nrsimha, Varaha, Vamana. These are all Krishna, fully Krishna, but in a different form. So, but both are Krishna. So Prabhupada here is saying that the first, the last expansion, even before Narayana, even before Vishnu, even before is Lord Balaram. The first, the last expansion. And this is why Balaram is basically Krishna. The only difference here, what is the difference here that's being said? A difference of color. What color is Krishna? Well, yes. He's in some places, the deity, the marble is white. He was all Krishna's white. Here he's blackish. But yes, his color is Shama, which is the color of dark blue rain clouds. The dark blue rain clouds. And the most beautiful color. Actually, this is why the color of the sky is blue. It's not that Krishna is blue because the sky is blue. The sky is blue because Krishna is blue. It's the effulgence coming from his body that gives that bluish hue. So imagine looking up at the sky and it means some other color, maybe purple or green. No, it wouldn't be the same, right? So Krishna's color is bluish, dark bluish. So only difference is the difference in color. So we have a trinity with Lord Balaram also. There's three main forms in which Balaram manifests. Very famous is Lakshman. Lord Ram's younger brother, he comes as Lakshman. Then as Lord Balaram, Krishna's brother Balaram. And then he comes as Lord Nityananda, the elder brother of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. However, like we said, Lord Balaram is the first expansion. So what this also means is that all the forms of Lord Vishnu are actually Lord Balaram. They're actually Lord Balaram. The 108 Divya Deshams we find in the south are all forms of Lord Balaram. When people worship Lord Narayana, they worship Lord Balaram. We tend to think they're worshiping Krishna. They are, because Krishna is the same as Balaram in some ways. But really they're worshiping expansions of Lord Balaram. So Chintami Mataji mentioned how my son's name is Balaram. And I think, like she rightly said, that was the reason I was asked to give the class. There's many more qualified people here, but just, But before he was born, in 2019, this is an image of Lord Madhakaraj. And Lord Madhakaraj is his deity. Who worships Lord Madhakaraj? It's Ramanujacharya. Yes. So it's actually named Yamunacharya, but it was Ramanujacharya's personal worshipable deity. So Adi Varadaraj is the Adi Varadaraj. He's in a lake for 40 years. Like he's always in a lake. Because his body, because of pastime, got so hot that they put him in a lake so that he can always be cool. He can be underwater, no problem. So then another deity was made, which is the Varadaraj deity. So once in 40 years, that deity comes out. And once in 40 years, the deity comes out. So the last time, the deity from the lake comes out and is installed, and you can see Ramanujacharya's original deity. So the last time that happened was in 2019. So the next time will happen is like 35 years from now. So you can all mark your calendars. So anyway, I happened to be in India at that time. And there's like once in a lifetime opportunity. It's kind of like a Kumbh Mela. The once in 40 years opportunity So we heard about this, and some devotees were telling, so I thought I have to go to Lord Bharadharaj, we have to see Lord Bharadharaj. But just a week before I went, there was a big explosion there in the line. There's some transformer there, and like 30, 40 people died, standing in line. Like it is. 10 people died in a stampede, because there's, stampedes, all these things. So we were thinking, should I go, should I not go, should I go, should I not go? So finally decided to go. We're going to go. But then who to go with? And had to find someone, who knows the local language is Tamil. So then I found a devotee who knew Tamil, and I started convincing, we gotta go. And then he was like, no, we're not gonna go. There's stampedes there. We're gonna die in the stampede. And just then the news had come out, different, all these things. So he was, but then I kept trying to, kept pushing him. I was being very selfish. I was like, no, we got to go. And then by that time, a few other devotees told me, it's like, you have to be careful. It's like, you're very difficult. So by that time, I got convinced that maybe I should not go. I was like, now I'm double mind. Don't go. But then, by that time, that devotee got convinced that he should go. So he said, no, you said we're going, now we're going. So anyway, we got to see Lord Bharadharaj. And so we went there, we stood in line, and somehow because of the risk in it, less people started coming. So the line wasn't so big, we just stood there for about 8 hours. And after 8 hours, we were able to see Lord Bharadharaj. And I must say that that deity of Lord Bharadharaj was the most beautiful darshan I've ever had. It was just like, you could see, pictures don't do justice, right? The picture you see, okay, just like this. But when he was standing there, he was just like the Lord. He was standing in human form. And it's Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram as Lord Bharadharaj, who is the object of worship of Ramanujacharya's own deity. You can imagine how special that deity must be. So like this, all over India, we are worshipping Lord Balaram in different forms. So, one time, Srila Prabhupada was at Vrindavan, and there was a big controversy that took place among the devotees. So, Bhagyashree Prabhu, who was one of the senior disciples of Srila Prabhupada, even at that time, he was kind of one of the leaders, he said, based on this text that we read, he said that there's no difference between Krishna and Balaram except for color. Right? There's no difference. And then there's Mother Yamuna, who's now passed away. She's no longer on this planet, but she is Prabhupada's cook, very dear, very intimate servitor of Srila Prabhupada, like one of his daughters. And she was saying, no, there is. Because Krishna is the only enjoyer of Srimati Radharani. Lord Balaram is not the enjoyer of Srimati Radharani. So they went back and forth. And you know how things happen. It's a small issue, but it becomes a big controversy, right? It became a reason for, standing on different sides of the temple, and there's the Krishna Balaram group, and there's the other group. So this controversy got bigger. So then the Krishna Maharaj brought this before Srila Prabhupada. And he went to Prabhupada and he said, there's a controversy. Bhagyashree Maharaj is saying that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is one of color. And that's because you say this in your books. And Prabhupada sees the Krishna Maharaj and says, that is correct. What Bhagyashree is saying is correct. Shishidada Shyam Sundar Ki. So then the Krishna Maharaj says, but another devotee, Mother Yamuna, is saying that there is a difference between Krishna and Balaram. And the difference is Krishna is the only enjoyer of Srimati Radharani. Balaram is not. So that's another difference. So Prabhupada says, yes, that is correct. But what Yamuna is saying is correct. So then Krishna Maharaj says, but Bhagyashree Maharaj, the Prabhu is saying that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is one of color. And she is saying that there are other differences also. That's not the only difference. So Prabhupada, they both can't be right. And Prabhupada says, that is correct. what you're saying is right. So then the Krishna says, Srila Prabhupada, then what's the correct answer? And then what does Srila Prabhupada say? And you know? He says, you decide. So he leaves the decision up to the, he says, you decide. So that is the question now, so we have to decide. So what is the difference between Krishna and Balaram? How many of you say that the only difference between Krishna and Balaram is one of color? Raise your hand. No? Okay, so yes, one of you fine. How many of you say that there's other differences between Krishna and Balaram, not just one of color? Wow, okay, majority of the devotees agree with this. Yes, so, well, as it turns out, they both are correct. And that's why Prabhupada, you know, the scriptures can say two things, they can be opposite, but both can be correct. It's a very important point, that the scriptures and Krishna don't work in a normal, logical way that we think. They are oftentimes inconceivable. So how are they correct? How are they both correct? Balaram is one in tattva with Krishna, but different in rasa. So whether Vishabha was correct, they're one, because they're one in tattva. There's no difference between Krishna and Balaram, just a difference in color. That's no difference, right? Even I change color. During the summer I get darker, and during the winters I get lighter. We get to, you know, we change color. We're the same person. Color doesn't make you a different person, right? So they are one in tattva. They are the same. Only difference is color. But they're different in rasa. They're different in rasa. So that can be a big difference. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is another wonderful example of oneness in tattva. He is Krishna himself, 100% Krishna. So his actual personality, his person, is the same as Krishna, but different in rasa. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the devotee, in the mood of the devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Balaram is also the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the Supreme Personality of what Godhead? The Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead, right? The Supreme Personality of Servitor. So, regarding the tattva point, I'll just say one point. One time in Vrindavan, also in Vrindavan, someone asked, Prabhupada asked his disciples, he asked them, he says, who is stronger, Krishna and Balaram? You might have heard this one. Right? Who is stronger, Krishna and Balaram? So everyone had again disagreement. Someone says Krishna is more stronger, someone says Balaram is more stronger. And then after that, it was settled by Srila Prabhupada. What did he say? How do we know who is stronger? Right here. Yes, he said, look at the deity of Krishna and Balaram. Who is taking support from who? Balaram is leaning on Krishna. Right? His hand, you can see it's a little bit here, just his little hand is covered. His hand is leaning on Krishna. And that's why he needs Krishna's support. But Krishna does not need Balaram's support. So Balaram is therefore known as the Supreme Personality of Servitor Godhead. Right? He is not independent like Krishna. Only Krishna is independent. All forms of Krishna are equal to Krishna. But Krishna is independent. Everyone else is dependent on Krishna. Krishna Sru Bhagavan Swayam. So Balaram, even though Krishna is stronger, but the name of Balaram means spiritual strength. That is the main quality of Lord Balaram. Personification of spiritual pleasure and strength. Now, we think Balaram means spiritual strength, right? Bala. But we forget the Rama part. Rama means the supreme enjoyer. So he's also the source of all pleasure, bala and strength. So personification of the source of spiritual pleasure and strength. And another name is Nityananda, says the same thing, the eternally blissful Nityananda. That is his name. So, speaking of rasa, there's three different ways in which Lord Balaram many ways, actually, in every rasa he is serving, but three different ways, primary ways in which Lord Balaram serves Krishna. He is serving Lord Ramachandra as Lakshmana. And in his different forms, we talked about the three different forms of Lord Balaram that are most prominent in our scriptures, in our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition. So as a servant, he is serving Lord Balaram. Lord Ram as Lakshmana. And it said that Lord Lakshmana was such an exemplary servant that for 14 years while in the forest, he never slept a moment. So he's like, when there's a festival day, sometimes we stay up all night. Sanatana Prabhu was very good at this. On Janmashtami night, he will not sleep, and we will serve until the next morning. So we do it like 1 or 2 days without sleep. Many of you are like that. And you keep serving, and you just serve, and you serve, and you serve. Forget about the sleep. Srila Prabhupada only used to sleep 2 or 3 hours a day. But Lakshman, he didn't sleep for 14 years. Why? Because when Lord Ram would sleep, then he would stay awake to watch, to be the watchman. Because they were in the Dandakaranya forest for some time, right? And there's demons all around. So he would be walking all around. When Lord Ram would walk in the forest, then the thorns would prick his feet, and blood would ooze from his feet. Of course, this was spiritual blood. It wasn't this ordinary blood. It was not material. But it would ooze from his feet. And so Lord Lakshman would immediately bring a cloth, tear his cloth, and tie it up. He was such a wonderful servant that in the beginning, after Lord Ram and Sita's wedding, Mother Sita couldn't figure out what to do because he had taken all the services. He was serving Lord Ram 24 hours a day. She said, "What is the purpose of my being married?" And so she took this complaint to Vashishta Muni, who is the household guru, and said that I want to serve my husband. I want to serve Lord Ramachandra. How can I be his wife without serving him? And she, of course, was his greatest devotee also. So Vashishta Muni, he made a compromise, and he said, for all matters within the house, Mother Sita is going to serve. And for all matters outside of the house, Lakshmana will serve. So that way it was settled. But he was the personification of service. And therefore, no one can serve the Lord better than Lord Balaram. And if any of us want to serve him, we must go through him. And we return to this point later on also. And the Lord Ramachandra gave Lakshmana also the most difficult services. And the two most difficult services, this was difficult, not sleeping for 14 years. But for Lakshmana, it was pure bliss. But what was difficult for him? What was difficult for him when Lord Ramachandra told Lakshmana that you light the fire in which Sita has to sit. And he told Lakshmana, you make the fire and you light it, and Mother Sita has to sit in it. He didn't want to do it. He was broken-hearted. And then the second one came. Anyone know where the second one was? Yes. He gave the most difficult service to Lakshmana again. The most difficult service for a devotee is to see the Lord and his consort be separated. And so he asked Lakshmana, that you take Mother Sita to the forest and you leave her in the ashram of Bhagyashree. Without her knowing, without even telling her where she is going, without anything, just leave her and come. And imagine, it broke Lakshmana's heart. Because not just that it would be so painful to see them separated, but what would Mother Sita think of him? That Lakshman left me here, and he's with Ram now alone, and I'm all alone? But he did that thankless task. So then Lakshman told Ram, he said that at the end, Lord Ram was so pleased with his service, he asked him for a benediction. He says, you ask me anything you like. And then Lakshman asked him, he said, I have only one prayer. Will you please? Now he had promised, Lord Rama's promised to fulfill your benediction. He said, in any incarnation that we have ever again, he said, may I always come back as your elder brother. Never again as a younger brother. Because I cannot bear seeing you like this. I never want to have to serve you like this. So he comes back in the future as the elder brother. Why? Because elder brother is Vatsalyalas, and in Vatsalyalas you can actually offer more service than in Dasyalas. As a parent, you serve the children more than the children serve you. Right? This is a fact, right? Every mother, father, everyone knows that they serve the children far more than the children serve them. So that is the great benediction that was offered to Lakshman. And thus, in every successive appearance of the Lord, he always comes as the elder brother. In the next one, he comes as Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram ki! So Lord Balaram, he also serves Krishna, not just as a friend. Oh, sorry. So yes, so Lord Balaram also serves Krishna. Though he's the elder brother, he also serves him as his servant. Here we see he's putting on the anklets of Krishna. Lord Balaram is, right? So he also loves offering service. He's serving Krishna in so many ways. Can someone mention, we can quickly mention the ways in which he's serving Krishna. All the paraphernalia, right? So on the altar, the dresses, the jewelry, everything that we're handling is all Lord Balaram. How else does he serve Krishna? Massages his feet. He massages his feet, very nice. You see this, I'll also show you there's an English coming up of that. How else does he serve Krishna? Someone else. Mataji is too good. Yes. Who else? Huh? As a Mridanga. Yes, as the yes, the Balaram Mridanga. As a musical instruments, he served Krishna. How else did he serve Krishna?
If you want to know more about Krishna, Balaram is a source of knowledge, so he gives knowledge. If you pray to Balaram, then we can get closer to Krishna.
Yes. So that's actually the third way, as the third aspect that we will see as Guru. He brings everyone. So he serves Krishna as his abode. The whole Dham is Lord Balaram. And that's why Lord Balaram has the power to close and open the abode of the Lord. Right? It's like Vrindavan is like a lotus flower, it closes and opens it. So in unlimited ways he is serving Krishna. Then he is also the friend of Krishna, the dearest friend. We see so many images. In this one, Krishna is praising the good qualities of Lord Balaram. And this is a whole chapter in the Krishna book. And he's also partner in crime with Krishna. Right? He's stealing butter and helping Krishna as all of his mischievous activities. And it's described the effulgence coming from the body of Krishna and Balaram is so wonderful. It's so bright that they don't need any light. They don't need these lights. They're the self-effulgent celebrities who, wherever they come, they have this glow coming from their body. And all the village women of Vrindavan, they're very shocked. How do Krishna and Balaram get to these places? They're completely dark. How do they find it? Because they have flashlights on their bodies. So Krishna and Balaram also frolicking in the forest. And Balaram is always there accompanying Krishna in all the different places, and pastimes, and activities. It's said that Krishna comes with his friends, and he comes with his millions of cowboy friends. And he's going in the forest and having the time of their life. So they don't really think about direction, right? Where to go, like you go left, you go right, you go straight. So Lord Balaram will go forward and figure out the path, and then they'll put his plow on the ground and in the direction in which they need to go. So it's like, okay, we need to go left, so there's a marker there. is Lord Balaram's plow. It said that Krishna, in the Krishna book, we read about all the demons that Krishna killed. We just finished reading the Krishna book. It was a wonderful, engagement. We read about all the different demons that Krishna killed. And there's about maybe 15, 20 demons, right? Really awesome demons that Krishna kills. But it's described that actually Krishna killed about 3 demons every single day. 3 demons every single day for 10 years. So if you calculate that, it's about 10,000 demons. So he killed 10,000 demons. 10,000 demons. But we don't hear about them, right? We don't read about them. So where are they written? They're written in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But the Bhagavatam only has about 20. But they're written in this is the condensed summary, the executive summary Bhagavatam. They're written in the demigod Bhagavatam that has something like 18 million verses, right? And in that Bhagavatam, that extended Bhagavatam, all the 10,000 demons are described that Krishna killed. So he's always there supporting Krishna in the work that he has to do. He's also serving Krishna as Ananda Manjari. And this is Krishna, Lord Balaram in a female form, where he is the head Manjari. Not exactly as a friend, the Manjaris are actually more in the servant mood, but they're the friends of Srimati Radharani. They are the assistants of Srimati Radharani, especially Ananda Manjari has a very special role in the spiritual world. And she is Lord Balaram. And the final way in which he is serving Krishna is as a guru. So here we see Krishna massaging the feet of Lord Balaram. So Krishna also, he's the guru of Balaram. He's the guru of all the residents of Vrindavan. When things go wrong, then even Nanda Baba, who's his father, everyone goes to Lord Balaram for counsel. You know how it is in some families? That how, the older one, the eldest one kind of is, even though they're younger, but they kind of become like the family uncle or something. My brother's a little bit like that. We all go for advice. So it's like natural, because it's the first one, the eldest one, and maybe Ravi and Bhagyashree know that right there. The older ones in the family, so Krishna respects them very deeply. And Krishna is always trying to serve Lord Balaram. And here we see that Lord Balaram is also serving Krishna. And this shows actually his role as guru. Because the spiritual master, even Krishna has a spiritual master. When Lord Chaitanya came, he has Ishwar Puri as a spiritual master. He has Sandipani Muni as a spiritual master. And his bigger brother Balaram is like a spiritual master. But what is the role of the spiritual master? The spiritual master is always serving Krishna. So it's that beautiful exchange where Krishna is serving the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is serving Krishna. And Krishna killed 10,000 demons, as I mentioned. And maybe Balaram killed many more also. But of the demons that we know, he killed about 5 demons. And 3 in particular are very famous. He killed, who is he? The Hinugasura, the ass demon. So every demon in Vrindavan represents an anartha. There's different demons, and and they represent different anarthas. Like Putana, she represents the pseudo-guru. Vyomasura, he's a demon that takes away all the coward boys. He represents causing discord among devotees. There's other demons. There's the Trinavarta demon. It's about materialistic mental speculation, airy like the wind demon. So all these demons were killed by Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that when we hear about the Krishna killing these demons, then those anarthas go away. But Lord Balaram, he kills only a select demons. And it's described that he kills these demons because the spiritual master, Lord Balaram, the spiritual master destroys these particular anarthas. The other anarthas, you can relieve yourself just by worshipping Krishna. Just by the process of sadhana bhakti, chanting the holy name of Krishna, you can relieve yourself. But for these specific anarthas, one needs the help of the spiritual master. And the first one is the spiritual master removes our ignorance. Right? Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnanan Janmashtami. The spiritual master gives us knowledge. He removes the ignorance from within the heart. The spiritual master, only with the spiritual master can we remove lust within the heart. Lust, which is both the gross lust, the physical type of lust, and also the subtle lust, which is the desire for fame, honor, and prestige. That is removed by the mercy of the spiritual master. And finally, pride. And who's this demon? Prahlambasura, and this one is Kavila the gorilla. There's a whole pastime of this demon as well. How he disrespected Lakshman, and therefore he comes back and Lord Balaram destroys his pride. So, and then he comes as a spiritual master, and the final way in which he comes is as Lord Nityananda, the spiritual master of the whole universe, where he's liberating all the living entities of this world are being liberated by Lord Nityananda's mercy. And I'll end with reading these beautiful praises of Lord Nityananda. So, Lord Balaram, when he appears in the Kali, he comes as Nityananda. He's merciful because he's a spiritual master. In this form, he's the most merciful. Lord Nityananda is the object of Lord Chaitanya's complete love. And it is my heart's desire that same Lord Nityananda reside in my heart as my most beloved Lord and Master. By His grace, I have developed attachment and attraction for Lord Chaitanya. It is by His order that I write these wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. One who desires to cross over this ocean of nescience and drown in the nectarian waters of love of Godhead must take shelter of the lotus feet of Nitai Chandra. Whoever sings and glorifies this wonderful pastime will be blessed by Lord Vishwambara along with his entire family. So, to get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, we need the mercy of who? Nityananda. To get the mercy of Lord Krishna, we need the mercy of the spiritual master, Lord Balaram. But how do we get the mercy of the spiritual master? By the mercy of Krishna. We get the mercy of the spiritual master by the mercy of Krishna. So this is also one of those inconceivable things. Who is more merciful, right? The spiritual master is most merciful. Lord Nityananda is most merciful. But how do we get the mercy of the spiritual master? We get it by the mercy of Krishna. So Lord Nityananda is the most merciful, like we see in the pastime of Jagai Mata. Yet Lord Nityananda, his source of mercy is Lord Chaitanya. So, Lord Balaram is always the eternal spiritual master, and he's teaching the whole world. And it is by the mercy of Lord Balaram, actually, that we have the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? The Srimad Bhagavatam is given to us, or you could say, is coming through the mercy of Lord Balaram. And this is the very last story I will end with, because today we are doing something very special. As you might have noticed, there's some books here, and they're here for a purpose. So there's a great sage by the name of Romaharsha Sutta. And this sage was a disciple of Vyasa. So he was once speaking on Vedic scriptures. He was the knower of the Vedas. He had it on the back of his hand. He was perfect in his everything, in his practice, in his everything. And so one time in that assembly, Lord Balaram arrived. And when he arrived, the Romaharsha Sutta did not stand up. When he didn't stand up, Lord Balaram did not like it. Because as great as one may be, when the Lord comes, and the spiritual master, Lord Balaram, is the original spiritual master, one must stand up to receive them, to honor them. So he doesn't stand up. He keeps speaking because he thinks that I am sitting on the Vyasasan, I am representing the Lord in this role, so I should not stand up. But he should have stood up, right? And so thus, Lord Balaram, to teach him a lesson, to make him humble, he takes a blade of kusha grass, and with that one blade of kusha grass, he throws it at him, and Romaharsha Sutta dies. So when he dies, then all the sages, they tell Lord Balaram that right before Romaharsha Sutta started speaking, we all gave him the benediction that may you have a very long life, right? This is Ayushman Bhava. May you have a very, very long life. May you live for millions of years. And he says that, Lord Balaram, we are your unalloyed devotees. The devotees you'll find in the scriptures sometimes they say that, and they know that. Though they're humble, they say, I am your unalloyed devotee. And all of our benedictions will go empty. So please do something. So our benediction does not go empty, because Krishna always fulfills the words of his devotees. So it's a big, important problem. So Balaram says, okay, I will solve that problem. And what he does is that he then takes Romaharsha Sutta's son, who is who? Sutta Goswami. And he takes Sutta Goswami and he puts him on the Vyasasan. And he says that his son, he will have all the good qualities. He will be the greatest sage among sages, and he will live for millions of years. And Sutta Goswami, he is one of the speakers of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he is speaking the Srimad Bhagavatam to 80,000 sages, and headed by Shonaka Rishi. And hence we have this wonderful literature called Srimad Bhagavatam by the mercy of Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram ki jai, Krishna Balaram ki jai, Go Brahmanandi.
Such a wonderful, wonderful lecture. Really got our hearts mind out for sure. So let's give a big round of applause. So we have, as we do, announce our sponsor. We have one sponsor, Neena Mataji. Are you here? Come on. Please receive Barsana. Thank you so much. Neena Mataji never fails us for every festival. She's always there as a sponsor. So right after this, we have Bhajan by starting with Prahlad and the youth team. But okay, well, I was just informed that we have time for question answers.
So maybe in place of the questions and answers, we'll do the glories of Bhagavatam, and we have a wonderful celebration today. Govindam Muni, would you like to just come here? I'll feel a little support. So, inspired by Govindam Muni Mataji, Anjaneya Prabhu, Vinod Vihari Prabhu, so many devotees here. We are doing a little offering to Krishna, to Lord Balaram today. So all of you know about Bhadra Purnima, right? Do you know about Bhadra Purnima? You've heard of Bhadra Purnima? Bhadra Purnima is a day when Srimad Bhagavatam is given as a gift. There's a beautiful verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam that says, Proshna Padyam Purnamasyam Hema Singha Samadvitam Dadati Yo Bhagavatam Sayati Paramam Gavim. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. So today is Lord Balaram's day. So how many of us would like to go back to Krishna, back to Lord Balaram? Okay, almost everyone here. Hari Bol! Lord Balaram ki! So to do that, all we need to do is just one thing, is give someone a gift of Lord Srimad Bhagavatam. So can I just have your attention for a moment? Yes. So we just even want to give a gift of Bhagavatam today to our friends, to our loved ones, to our well-wishers, and take Bhagavatam home, and also facilitate the opportunity for others to receive Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mataji will just tell what are the different opportunities.
Thank you. So yeah, and so we've been doing the Srimad Bhagavatam distribution in many different places, college campuses, door-to-door, MSF. Last year we had opportunity to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam in India personally. So when we distribute these Bhagavatams, different ways, as it's posted on here, you can invite at your home if you don't have one. Many of us are devotees, so we have them. So we are asking you can distribute to your friends, family, co-workers. There are many festivals coming up, so in that way you can give it to them as a gift. Or you can donate or sponsor for USA or India. When we distribute these sets to college kids in India, when we do, people don't actually have the means to pay for the set. So in that way, you can do the service of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. So we have some opportunities as listed, whether if you want to do it in USA or India, and the prices are listed, as you can see. So those are some of the opportunities. So
every year we have a goal of 500 Srimad Bhagavatams. 500 for Naperville. Every year the devotees here collectively far outdo that goal. So this year we're really struggling. We only have 123 sponsors until now. So there's 377 left. So today we just need to do 377 and we will be ready to go. And it's actually very easy because Govinda Moni Bhagyashree mentioned we can do 50 Bhagavatam sets for 4,500. So we just need a few people who can do it, and then they can take this beautiful Bhagavatam home. Right? Bringing Bhagavatam in your home is bringing Krishna in your home. So in India, these are distributed and they go into the homes of children in schools, colleges, and temples. Here, as Nataji mentioned, they're going to students, they're going in libraries, they're going in homes of people who cannot afford them or cannot afford as much, and then they are given them. So, because it's such an auspicious day today, because it's Lord Balaram's appearance day, we want to invite people to sponsor some sets. So who would like to sponsor some sets? So Srimad Bhagavatam. Who would like to be the first one? Wow! To Pratiksha Bhagavatam. So now only 375 left. So you've got an even number here. Okay, thank you Pratiksha Mataji for starting us off. Who else would like to do? Yes, the prices. Yes, okay, we know behind the world. Okay, one US set, wonderful. Thank you very much. Yes, you know behind the world. Okay. So this is Krishna Janmashtami. Whatever you're thinking in your mind for Krishna, you just need to make the pledge today. You can give the Lakshmi whenever you like. You can give it on Janmashtami Day, you can give it on Bhadra Purnima Day, you can give it on whichever day you like. But today we're collecting pledges. Who else would like to do? Take this Bhagavatam home. Do for India! I'm starting to lose 372. Okay, anyone else? Before we start? One. Would you like to do one? For India, one. Okay. Anyone else? How many? One. One for? One for now. For US. Okay. Krishna Janmashtami.
That's why I see the special ambience. So she's traveling from India for the special guest of ours is traveling from India for our first ever Tulabharam festival in this temple. And that's going to be happening tomorrow. So I believe Bhagyashree ji should be walking in at any moment now. Welcome, Bhagyashree ji. Everybody knows Bhagyashree. Most of us in our generation know about her from Bollywood. She's won so many hearts in Bollywood. But in addition, she's been inspiring millions as a wellness advocate and social change maker.
Now we can start.
Bhagyashree ji.
Zoom in on her too.
But Asirvad unka ye log these people they really stood up the path because यहाँ पे चिकागो की the biggest temple है जो हिंदू temple है चिकागो इन लोगों ने so like those they had really no money, no source of money, and from there they have built the temple. तो हमारे लिए तो काम आसान है ये लोग पे ममता जी आएंगे Mamta Agarwal, they are the biggest donor. She is also our advisory committee member. We have advisory committee.
It's going to be difficult for me to remember so many names. So.
No, I think we will ask you after that.
यहाँ पे परीक्षा भी देते हैं.
We're going to introduce first Edie, but I'm also going to start the introduction, which is okay. Brijesh Patel and his wife, they are also good supporters. They started recently supporting us as well. They sponsored this event as well and helping us. So please, everyone, have a seat here. I think there are a few more people coming.
Just keep the focus. Yeah. And just keep her in the center of the frame.
Sure. Maybe some photo if people want some.
Yes.
Should we do the
I
photograph?
think we'll have to do it on the back wall. I think there's.
Hare Rama,
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna
Gloria and Andres Dr. Bharat. So they are big help in getting Bhagyashree here. And when I first talked with her, and I asked her that we would like you to have you for our first Pula Dharam festival. And without asking any questions, not knowing what the date was, what the month was, what the location, what the purpose, she said yes. So she was very excited when she heard that ISKCON Naperville, Radha Central Temple, is hosting their first Pula Dharam, and she wanted to be part of this celebration. So I want to thank her and Bharat Bhai as well as this happened for meeting her here.